Quick disclaimer before we get into the final episode of Scottish Football Weekly Season 1. This episode is totally uncensored. We never gave Liam the heads up before the recording, and being a comedian, things get pretty out of hand quite quickly with him. I also wanted to remind you that you can get tickets for our up-and-coming charity match against the Scottish YouTube team through the link in our Instagram bio. Make sure you buy your tickets and we'll see you there on the day.
What is happening, troops, and welcome to the final episode this season of Scottish Football Weekly. I'm joined by Ben, Craig, and a special guest this evening. I've got Liam Farrelly on. What's happening, mate?
Aye, not bad. What's happening to you?
Not much, mate, not much. Gigging this weekend?
I'm going down to Sheffield. I'm going to see Arctic Monkeys, and then I'm doing a gig in Leeds on the way back up.
Excellent, man. Nice one.
So
So for those of you who don't know Liam is a comedian who was at Live at the Apollo last year. What was that like?
Aye, it's pretty easy, man. It's tell everybody to laugh.
Pretty easy. I struggle with a podcast where you start and go 50 times, but Live at the Apollo is easy apparently.
Well, I mean, you can do like cuts and stuff. Like if you fuck up a joke, they'll just bring you back on to tell the same joke again.
Oh really? Is it?
Aye.
Can you do that? Aye.
Aye, they'll do it. They'll do it. Make you do the full set, and then they'll bring you back on at the end if they need you to record something. So
that's
the
classic,
audience have to watch you do the same joke again.
Behind the scenes.
I didn't realise all that went on. I thought it was just up there, and if you bottle it, you bottle it.
Well, there's a warm-up act as well, and he tells everybody to laugh a lot. So the pressure's really high.
Your manager's good. He's been in here tonight. So obviously it's a football podcast, Scottish football. Who's your Scottish team?
Stmirren.
Stmirren. So you've had a decent season then?
Aye, done the best I've seen us done in years, man.
Happier than Craig this year anyway.
Who's you support?
The Rangers.
The Rangers.
Come on.
You're going to get outed. You're going to get outed in the comments.
Great season. Great season.
For what, Rangers?
Aye.
In terms of what?
Listen, they're only celebrating the aspect that probably when this goes up, Ange's left. But we are used to winning trebles, so it's nothing new to us.
So a wee agenda for the night. We'll quickly cover the Celtic and Inverness Cali Thistle Cup final. Celtic have obviously won the treble. We'll break that down. Inverness Cali Thistle fell Inverness Cali Thistle. No, Partick Thistle fell at the final hurdle after convincing wins against Queen's Park and Ayr United, but ultimately fell short on penalties. We'll cover Ange. We'll give that a few minutes because by the time this goes out, likely Ange will be away. We'll talk about potential future appointments, and then we're going to cover our team of the years, player of the year, young player of the year, and flop of the season.
And manager.
And manager of the year.
And signing of the season.
And signing of the season. We'll cover that as well.
You've got a stacked podcast.
Aye, this will be stacked this evening. So let's get straight into it. What do we make of the Celtic Inverness Cup final?
You take it away.
I thought it was... realistically, and I'm going to say it, I expected nothing but the win.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like even close to...
You need to move.
It was just a telly solace.
What you can see is Broad Reese's went and got in front of the wee monitor that we use, and the TV started slanting to the left. But I didn't see it going any other way. I thought Celtic were a bit... They kept possession great, and then after the first goal, it was just when can we get another? And then a lapse in concentration, and again, treble makers, history makers. Superb.
Just rubbing into Craig, is that what you're trying to do? And any Rangers fans watching at home?
Not at all. I think next season will be probably the best season in their generation with the Celtic Rangers, with what Rangers are trying to build and what we don't know what's up in there. Like, I feel the post-split has shown that we really need a depth squad.
No, I don't disagree with that. What was your take in the game? Did you get a chance to watch it?
Aye, I watched it, man. I thought it was a pretty boring game, man. It was just one of those ones where like exactly what you thought was going to happen happened. So it was a shame as well because like Inverness looked good in the semis, man. Like the wingers there, they got that boy Henderson on loan for St Mirren.
Very good.
Aye, he's really good. It's just because we don't play with wingers, so there was no way for him to get a game. So he got sent out alone, and he's really fucking proud of himself down there.
Aye.
It's a shame though because it's one of those ones where they sat really deep, so it's like the two kind of best outlets for them, the two wingers never really seemed to get a chance until the end of the game, and then was it Mackay coming in to score?
Aye.
I'm surprised they didn't do it like they were against the Falkirk game. The plan against the Falkirk was get balls into the box. I think they scored 2, maybe 3.
Two for deep
Yeah.
crosses, and
again
that goal was the exact same. We said that watching it. It was the way they play is that they're really, really compact and they're tough to break down, and then they've got unreal qualities, like you say, that their two outlets on the wings are absolutely excellent. I thought boy Henderson wasn't just how he was in like wee spells. I thought the way he defended was excellent. Anytime he had the ball, it was positive, and it was right. How are we getting out of this wee space? Switch the play. I felt some of the more experienced players maybe struggled to keep up with the pace of Celtic towards the end. Boys like maybe Sean Welsh and players like that. But ultimately, man, I thought Inverness gave a very good account of themselves for being 5th place in the championship, mid-table championship side, playing against a team that's winning a treble. That I thought they gave a very, very, very good account of themselves.
I think the performance for Celtic was a bit timid. It was convincing.
Nerves, maybe?
I don't think it was nerves. I don't think this Celtic team's nervous about anything.
I think Ange said that himself though. Ange said the boys played the most nervous he's seen all season.
I think the first goal is just standard Celtic at the moment. The ball obviously gets played out. O'Reilly's there making that kind of run for deep again, like you see hatate, McGregor, O'Reilly make, and it's Kyogo's movement that's unbelievable. Straight to the front post, and it's no one easy finish that at all. Not at all, and especially with 50,000 fans, 60,000 fans. Unbelievable. The boy's a goldmine. I'll be surprised if he's here next season.
Do you think Ange will maybe try and take Kyogo with him?
I think he'll take hatate or Kyogo.
I think the only player who really gets into the Tottenham team is hatate.
Do you think?
And that's no a discredit for Celtic, because you've got a lot of good players, and I know Tottenham have been.
Callum McGregor?
I don't think he leaves.
He gets into the team, but he never leaves.
Cameron Carter-Vickers?
Could be a new start, aye.
Possibly go back to Tottenham as well. So possibly, but I think.
Do you think there's any kind of, if the talk is now coming out that this has been in the works since March, so Ange Postecoglou has made sure that Cameron Carter-Vickers has been away and had his operation. I'm seeing some conspiracy theories on Twitter that this whole thing was done to make sure that he's got Carter-Vickers so he can come in and buy him and he's match fit for Tottenham.
No. Definitely not.
Nah. Not a conspiracy theorist.
Well, I'll be surprised if Ange takes anybody.
Really, eh?
I will, because what Ange will do is Ange has built a good team with Celtic on. It's not a limited budget, obviously, but on a shoestring budget compared to what he's going to get at Tottenham. So instead of buying these players for the market he knows in Japan, etc., he's then going to go into bigger markets in Europe and say, right, I'm going to find a Kyogo who's maybe 5 times the price, who would then perform at that level maybe in the Premier League. You know, they might not have Harry Kane there next season, so they've got no European football. The pressure's going to be on him though, because he's going to be a manager from Scotland. We've seen it 18 months ago with Gerrard, who's going to go into a team who's a bit dysfunctioned right now, and he has to hit the ground running, and see if he doesn't, it's going to be tough for him, I think.
Do you think he's going to be under a lot of pressure though? Because what is it you think that Spurs fans are going to be expecting? Because they don't win a lot. They haven't won anything in the last 10 years. Am I right in saying they've not won it in 10 years? 2007. Right, so 15 years. So if they've not won it in 15 years, you're bringing in a manager who's got a proven track record of winning trophies wherever he goes. And he won the Gold Cup with Australia. So do you know what I mean? Is it the Asian Cup? What's it called? The Gold Cup.
I know. Do you know what it is though? It's the previous managers for Tottenham though. They've brought in proven winners. You bring in Mourinho, sack him. Was it a week before a cup final?
Aye.
Ridiculous. You bring in Conte again, a serial winner. It's not really worked, and then get rid of him. Probably the right decision. So the pressure is going to be on Ange, and I do think he has to hit the ground running, because the amount of teams in that Premier League who will improve and stay at the level. You've got Man City, Arsenal stay the same. Man United will only get better. Liverpool
Chelsea
will
with
get better.
Poch.
Chelsea, Brighton, Villa on the up. So there's like 6 or 7 teams there who will stay at that level. So Ange, as I said, he needs to get it right. And I don't think he won't get it right. He is a good coach, and he's a Premier League level coach. I've said for how long that he was a perfect fit for Man City. Know the fact that he should go to the best team in the world. It's just that that's what he fits. So if he can implement his style of play into a Tottenham side, but hasn't really got a style of play right now, then it can be a success for him.
Since we're on the topic then, I'll ask the question, who's replacing Ange Postecoglou at Celtic? It looks like the deal's pretty much done.
Can it be Brendan Rodgers? Surely.
Oh no, so who do you think it'll be then?
Well, I've seen Brendan Rodgers, but the 2 names I'm seeing about is Jesse Marsh and Brendan Rodgers. I actually rate Marsh as a coach. I think he's a very good coach. He was a bit hard done by from Leeds. I think if Leeds never get rid of him, I think he would have stayed up.
So if it's between those two, who are you thinking it's going to be?
bearing in
Marsh.
mind
Yeah, Jesse Marsh will take it.
Marsh is trying to sign LeBron James. What's that? That's a horrible part.
That is terrible.
That's
He's American.
Aye, that's
Listen,
terrible.
this could be a very own Ted Lasso story.
I've not even watched it.
Oh, please
What?
watch it. If any have watched it, get down in the comments and let us know how you thought about the last
Oh
episode.
mate, tears. Absolute
What you
tears.
think? What you think, Liam? What you think? Rodgers or Marsh
I'd go
or
Marsh.
someone else?
I think he'll end up with someone else. I think he'll do what he's done last time and kind of pick someone that no one's really expecting because nobody knew Postecoglou was coming in.
Yeah, well,
So
that's true.
I think he'll end up doing something like that again because Marsh will still be getting a payoff at a Leeds, well, you know. So you got to think, is he going to actually want to go into management straight away, or is he going to want to sit and wait for the right job for him?
Mhm.
Aye.
And with Rodgers, it's just one of those ones where whenever someone goes back to a club, it's always about like, is it actually going to work? 9 times out of 10, it doesn't.
Do you know what I think? If you're a manager who's not got a team now, you look at the last 3 managers who've went down to England from Scotland. Obviously, Rodgers get the Leicester job. You get Gerrard who went down to Villa, and basically away to Spurs now. If you have a good 18 months to 2 years at Rangers or Celtic, you'll have a good Premier League job waiting for you.
Mhm.
And we're starting to see that a lot more. 5-10 years ago, a Rangers or Celtic manager would have never got a Spurs job,
Mhm.
but now Celtic and Rangers are improving, especially on Europe. Well, maybe not Celtic, but in European. Well, this is the only thing I've got on you, by the way.
Nah.
But-
See to back your kind of point on Rodgers, and like everybody said, and I remember as soon as he left, it was pretty poor. No poor, but well, I'm not going to get into the logistics yet. But
Everybody's going to have their own
Different
opinion in
opinions,
any
aye.
given situation. In my eyes right now, Ange Postecoglou's done nothing wrong whatsoever, but there's still fans on Twitter condemning him for leaving Celtic because as much as you can, like, to me, Celtic's the biggest club in the world, but if I'm on 500k a year or whatever it may be at Celtic, I don't know exact figures, someone comes in offering me 8 million a year, if I've got a wife and 2 kids, mate, you best believe I'm taking £8 million a year.
And
Do
was
you know
it
what I
nearly
mean?
60?
Nearly 60, so he's probably got another
Maybe 10, 15 years.
10-15 year left coaching.
Right,
Going to
so-
the Premier League, make his money. See if he goes there and he's sacked by Christmas, if he's on £6 million a year on a 3-year deal, he's still going to walk away with like 20 million in his back pocket.
Aye. Look, Ange can't do much more. You aren't guaranteed, neither are Rangers, to do well in Europe. Like, there's no guarantee that there was good performances at times in Europe, fair, but you could come up against an absolute group of death, perform no the greatest in Europe, we strengthen under Beale, win a couple of cups, so then Ange has actually degressed.
Yeah,
So
I would
is that
agree.
Spurs job still there? So you got to take it whilst it's there
Aye.
because anything can happen. Like I would never expect Celtic to get a lot worse under Ange, but it could happen. Something could happen during mid-season. Injuries, players want to leave, blah blah blah, and it could just upset everything.
Take everything as it comes, right? Look at the situation as it stands presently, right? Ange Postecoglou, Celtic have just went on the worst form that they've experienced since he came in the door, really, with the exception of the first 3 months, right? So they've been in the worst spell over the last 2 years, with the exception of the first couple of months, right? So football's not been that great. European football's always a gamble. You don't know what's going to happen with it. He's just won a treble. Go out when the fans still love you, because see, if you start the way that we finished the season, we could find ourselves 7 points behind Rangers by Christmas, you know what I mean? So, like you say, then that job opportunity of going down south is away. But I've actually got a theory that it's 100% Brendan Rodgers. That's my bet. If I was a betting man, I'd be
What is
sticking
the
my money on
theory?
Brendan Rodgers. Right, so my theory is this, right? Every single season for, I want to say, the last 7 seasons, Celtic have brought out a deadline, like a season ticket selling deadline, right? 25th of May or whatever they want to go for, right? This year it was last Wednesday at the time of this recording, so that maybe makes it what, the 30th or 29th of May or something. 29th of May I think sounds about right. So it was out on Trophy Day, they've put it out. Reminder, that's the last day you can renew your season ticket. We are not extending the deadline. Under no circumstances can we extend the deadline this year. So if you don't renew it, you're risking losing your seat. I don't think Celtic would do that unless they're worried that people aren't going to renew their season ticket as
okay, say Brendan Rodgers.
as of what's going to happen. So that tells me that Celtic knew it was going to happen. It also isn't a coincidence that in the last month or two that Dermot Desmond's been at Celtic Park, because let's be honest, doesn't go to Celtic Park for anything. So he's been at Celtic Park around about the same time as they're now saying the Ange talks were going on. So Celtic knew this was coming. So I think they've probably spoke to Brendan Rodgers already. I think there's no coincidence now that all of these Celtic pages are posting videos of Brendan Rodgers saying, I would love to go back to Celtic, no resentment on my end. Whether or not they would accept me, I don't know, but I still love them and I still love the club. I don't think that's any coincidence.
The only thing is, so they must have been planning for Ange to leave, but not to Tottenham, because Ange was never their first choice. It was Arne Slot for Feyenoord. Came out, rejected him, so if he accepted that, would Ange maybe have left?
But do you know that for 100%?
Well, Daniel Levy came out and said that. He says, look, this is the first choice. Then Feyenoord came out and says, look, Arne Slot's not going anywhere. It was reported heavily for a load of media outlets. And look, I don't think Ange would have left. I didn't expect this. I don't think a lot of people expected Ange to leave, if I'm honest.
I don't know. I'm now starting to look at his comments over the last couple of months and I'm thinking, well, were we just so naive? Are we so naive? Because the last few months he's saying, everybody's trying to force me out the door here, but you'll be surprised with how long I'm here. Is he saying, he's going to be surprised because I'm leaving him on my own terms? Like, after 2 years after he's all saying I'm going to get sacked? I don't know. Like, listen, see, when it comes to Celtic and Rangers, or just Scottish football in general in this country, everybody becomes a body language expert.
Source, trust me, bro.
The thing is as well, see, if it is somebody unknown, not Marsh or Rodgers, they can't judge. Because how many people judged Ange? Nobody knew him. Let's be fair.
Let's get back to this game, man.
I know. Just while we're on
we covered Ange. We'll cover the last, because let's be honest, Celtic's second was probably the best goal.
I agree.
Again, Inverness, I think it was Hatate that got dragged down the middle of the park. Everybody stops. Wasn't a foul given. Cal again, bang, right to Jota, and he's made that kind of overlapping run, well, underlapping, and again, Abada, right place, right time. That's what he does so well at Celtic, that I feel people, he's so hot and cold, and I said that to you at the game, one of the games where he probably takes instructions to a T, no coming back, when Jota can have that like kind of footballer knowledge. No saying that Abada doesn't, but looking at the way he celebrated and afterwards, I think he's away as well.
I wouldn't be overly surprised to see Abada go, but that's purely speculation. Until there's anything concrete, it's hard to comment.
That was the one person before all this Ange talk who I thought would have been away anyway. Like, I don't know, has he been injured this season at all? Has he picked up any injuries? Because
he was for a short period, just about
was that
Christmas
after
time.
The Rangers game, wasn't it?
Just after that.
He's not had as many games as I thought he would be for his output. Now that's actually a credit to him that he's getting the output in limited games.
Andrew's always said that he's too young to play as many games as he played his first season. So it was I think it was a given he wasn't going to play as often this season. I don't think it's as simple as because you're good enough you'll play. I think he takes into consideration, because look what happened to Kieran Tierney. Celtic played him way too much through injuries and all that, and he ended up with proper bad injuries for a while. So I think you need to manage young players, and I think he's good at that.
And then obviously we spoke about Inverness's goal again. Great ball into the box, and it's a great header.
It's a brilliant cross. If that's a Tava Barisic, it's all our sports scene, it's all everywhere, but because it's a consolation goal for Inverness, like, it's not really getting branded about anywhere, but that is a terrific goal.
The third goal for Celtic as well, I think it's really well worked. I think the three goals are kind of just summed up what Celtic's been all about. I think obviously the balls came down the right hand side, it's a brilliant ball, and then Jota gets to break it, and it's just the way Celtic are, they're just relentless.
And
there was a script in it, because it's that famous front three under Ange who scored.
First three signings.
Is that the first three signings?
Just about the first three signings.
Is it?
You know, it's mad as well, like the bit at the end where everybody's busting to walk, You'll Never Walk Alone, and it's just sitting there, everybody's singing. That must have been, you were at the game obviously, was that just amazing to see, obviously, because we are Celtic fans and that's no a shock to anybody, but I just feel like how many all the fans singing at the stadium, like that looks special, mate.
It's the same for any club though. It's not just Celtic and it's not just Rangers. It's like St Mirren as well. You go to the games and there'll be a song or a moment where everything comes together, because it's not just for me anyway.
It's deeper than football.
Because I'm only a Celtic fan because my granddad's a Celtic fan, and his dad was a Celtic fan, and his dad was a Celtic fan. So all the stories get passed through generations. It'll be the same for you with St Mirren. It'll be the same for you with Rangers. So you're at these games, and you don't feel like I'm not just sitting watching Rio Hatate turn around and play a ball. It's like I'm there, like watching.
Your dad's seen like the mixed days, like
exactly.
Everybody,
so it's like you're almost like retaining information that you're going to pass on to your kid, and then their kid, and then their kid. So you know what I mean? It's mad. I know that sounds deep,
Actually,
and we're
can't
going to
wait.
brighten it up in a minute because it's getting deep.
No, but I can't wait to like have a Wayne and explain to him how I watched a double pivot of like Ian Black and Kyle Hart.
That is
Do you know
phenomenal.
how good that would be? Like,
You know what I can't wait to tell my Wayne? How we lifted the Divine Scaffolding Cup on the 1st of July at Renfrew Junior Stadium. You can get your tickets right here. You'll see special guests like Liam Farrelly, Ray Bradshaw, Stuart McPherson, me the Magician, Craig the Absolute Maldini, and Mr. Captain Fantastico right here.
Take that. I thought you
No,
were
no,
stopping you.
no other word.
Take it off.
No other word than demolished. That's it. We're demolishing the SYT.
Are you saying demolishing because it's Divine Scaffold?
I'm saying demolishing because they're going to help build them back up for the ground and go on. See you later. Thanks for taking part. New kids are in the block and we're here to take over.
So
Watch us going to get 5 minutes, get scudded 8-0 when they're like, up the road. See you later.
Aye. We've got the hottest prospect young coach in the game, by the way.
Reece Cochran, our own Nathan Shelley. If you know, you know. No, so see, just obviously we've went a wee bit deep there, so I want to brighten it up. You toured with Tom Stead.
Aye, Tom Stead.
Tom Stead. Give us a Tom Stead story.
He's just nuts, man.
PG.
PG.
Nah,
That's
no
right.
PG, no PG. But he can bleep. I want a Tom
No,
Stead.
this is the last episode.
Aye.
There is no blame.
Balls to the wall.
Fuck it.
Just had a Wayne swearing in front of his dad for the first time.
Sorry, I just had to
Rod James
fuck it! That's a new video.
Aye, so we just had to do a wee cut there because Ben started screaming and swearing because he got overexcited about Tom Stead. But I will come back to the swearing in a minute, right? Because I've got a funny story to tell you, and I want to ask you, because I know there'll be some funny stories. But give us a good Tom Stead story.
Oh man, there's a lot and there's a lot I can't tell because well, I still want him to have a career. He's some boy. Because I met Tom when I was like 18, and then I toured with him when I was still 18, and then I think the first place we went to was Hull, and there's not anything going on in Hull. And I remember we went and done a venue, and the guy who owned the venue was a hypnotist. And every time that guy left the room, Tom was just slagging him off. He owned the venue, and Tom's got that. Well, he used to have this thing where he would try and stay and drink in a venue for free for as long as possible.
Right.
And that was really fun for him, but like I was there as his support act, so everybody's trying to look at me like, you're his mate, you need to calm him down, and like bar staff would have to stay to watch him drink for free. So everybody would always try and be like to me like, can you have a word with your mate? And I'm like, he's like 20 years older than me, I don't know what you think I can do here. So we'd stayed, and then the hypnotist eventually he lost it and he chucked us out. But Tom's got like this audience that will always come back and watch him. Like if you've seen Tom once, you'll go and see him again and again. So there was this guy who'd been to his show 7 years ago in Hull, hadn't seen Tom since then, and then came to this gig, and Tom was like, I remember you, and like they were like, I remember this and all this. And it was like the last time they'd met, they'd gone back to that guy's house. So the guy was like, come back to my house 7 years later.
No way, man.
So then me and Tom and this guy and his son are just in this guy's house, and his whole family is like up the stairs in this house. And we're just like cutting about like this guy's fucking house, and everybody like the whole time I can hear people being like, are they coming to bed soon? Like, and it's like, so I didn't know who was up there, and then like as the night's gone on, like eventually like they've all gone, and Tom's like, we're staying here, and I was like, Tom, we have hotel rooms. He was like, no, we're going to sleep on this guy's couch. And I was like, a hotel is a 10-minute walk away.
Random gaff in Hull.
He was like, no, we're staying. So then me and Tom are just sleeping in these guys' couches. And then I woke up in the morning and I was absolutely wrecked, man. And then I was so hungover, I just woke up and there was like this baby and a baby bounce. And it's just like, I was like asleep on the couch, so I just opened my eyes and it was just like a baby, like, and I'm making eye contact with them. I was like, oh no, man. Because I was like, oh, we've stole a baby or something. Like, this is bad.
Oh my god,
So
man.
I was sleeping in his couch, and then I looked away for the baby because I was like, I need to get context to this situation. And I looked like at the end of the couch, and I could just see into this guy's kitchen and his entire family. So like his wife, his adult daughter, whose baby that was, like her boyfriend, his son's girlfriend, and him are all just stood in the kitchen, just staring at me like.
Why if you get a random Scottish guy sleeping on our couch?
You either thought, right, this is the Hangover, or I'm going to be like the Purge's latest victim here or something, man. You woke up petrified.
And they were all just staring at me, and they're like, "Are you alright?" And I was like, "Aye, are you alright?" They were like, "When are you leaving?" I was like, I don't know, and Tom was just out, man, so I was trying to wake him up and stuff, and I was like, Tom, we've got
was he just lying in the other couch asleep?
Aye, so he's lying in the other couch further away from me, and I'm like trying to get him up, but I couldn't get up from my couch, so I just shouted like, Tom.
The whole family's trying to have a conversation. So he just leaving in the back, Tom.
Pure family meeting in a hill. Tom.
And the thing was as well, I looked really young at the time because I was just 18, so I have a beard in it. So I was just like, sweet boys on the couch.
Who's this wee boy in my couch?
That Wayne's probably thinking you're at Star.
Aye, well the thing was as well, the other guy in the couch is like visibly 20 years older than me, so they must think I'm like his son or something. It's like
father son night out in the house.
Oh my god.
Aye, and then like the guy was like, right, I've got my car keys, I'm taking his home, and I was like, oh, we all need to go to Liverpool now though, and he's like, I'll drive you to Liverpool if that's where you need to go, and all that.
What?
That's how desperate this guy was to get us at his house. He was like, I will drive you from Hull to Liverpool if we're just out of here right now.
So see, when he invited you back, was he thinking, right, we're just going to sit and have a few beers and they'll go up the road, and Tom just went, nah man?
Well, this is the thing, when you start drinking with Tom, he reads a lot of philosophy, man. So like at a certain point you'll be trying to be like, right, we should go. You're like, well, let me hit you with this. What would Nietzsche do right now? And you're like, what? He's like, listen, we're all living in a virtual reality, Liam. None of this is real. So
I back that, man. I back that.
Aye,
That's for another podcast, man.
Aye, so then you're trying to be like, but we should just go up the road, and then you're trying to argue against, like, are you real or not?
I'm gonna. You want to give me his number and we'll go to the
He's
social
a good
for
He'd be up for it, man. He's a good one.
I will definitely need to get him on. I wonder if he would do something for the charity event.
He might, man. I don't know if
The drink is dry.
Aye, hang on, he probably would.
Sit around through juniors like that. Yeah, another one. Another one. Sit there, DJ Khaled.
Tom, we finished at 6, it's 9:30.
Listen, what would Frederick Nietzsche?
Is he? Would you say he's the biggest character you've met in comedy then?
He's the biggest character. He's one that I definitely have got along with the most. You get a lot of characters though, and you're just a bit like, you're just an arsehole.
Who's your biggest influence in comedy then?
Biggest influence, I think Bridges, just because so I read his book and that's how I found out how to book the first gig I ever booked.
I love this story, man. You need to tell me that.
So basically, I used to get put in the support for learning base when I was in high school.
Mm-hmm.
So they chuck us in there. So it's like because I get dropped out a lot of classes. So I got dropped out of a practical woodwork class because I couldn't saw in a straight line. So
I'm no laughing at this, but just keep going. I'm trying to hold back at that.
Why are you laughing?
I don't know.
Can you sit on a straight line?
Mate, I got chucked out. I got chased with screwdrivers, mate. I was a bully victim, mate.
That did happen in my school as well.
Laughing at that.
It was me. It was me.
So you're in the support for learning. What's happening?
Aye, so then they would just, you just were in there for like an hour, and then they would be like, right, catch up with homework, and then if you didn't have any work, they'd be like, right, well, you need to sit there and read a book. So I had to read a book, and I remember they had to put like a teacher in who wasn't even a teacher. She was just like a woman who fucking done stuff around the school. And I remember
and I realise that's how David Martindale got the Liffey job in it.
She was like a safe pair of hands.
I'll get a job.
So I've just been stuck in there with this woman, and she was half her head, man. I remember she had do you remember when people used to dress up as like Native Americans and sell like CDs on high streets?
Yeah.
It was like panpipe music. So I'm having to sit in there for an hour and listen to like I Am Sailing on the panpipes. So I
I've
was.
never seen that in my life, man.
Have you ever seen it?
No.
It used to be a lot in Paisley High Street. You'd just be like guys dressed up as Native Americans, and they'd just be selling like CDs
Really,
with like
aye?
panpipes and stuff like that.
Jeez, oh man.
Aye, so she'd bought one, and it was genuinely, I am sailing is 2 notes, and on the panpipes, you really learn that, man. So I was just losing it, man. And then, like, I got given a book, and I was like, right, I'll just zone out and try and listen to the panpipes. I'll just read this book. So it was Kevin Bridges' book, and I didn't have any plans after high school, and he done the Stands Red Raw night. So that's like where you do like new acts and stuff like that. So he done his first gig there. So then I was like, right, that sounds like an alright idea for something to do. So then I just applied for Red Raw at the Stand, and then they booked me, and then done one gig there. They're like, oh, that was good, come back. And then my second gig, I got an audition for Scott Squad, and then through that, just like funded the rest of my career.
What is that like being on Scott Squad? What is that? Do you find that quite pressurised going from like stand up to proper like mad production level stuff?
Well, not really, because you see when you're doing like production stuff, you end up just sitting a bit for most of the time. Like you end up sitting a bit for a good 5 hours before you end up doing anything. So like by the time you actually get to do something, you're like, oh, like this is finally something's happening now. So
just relieved.
you're just like, right, this is class. But the audition for Scott Squad, it's all improvised basically.
Oh really?
Because they just give you one sheet of paper that's like telling you who your character is, what you're doing, and where they would like the scene to go, and then however you get there is like up to you.
That's pretty cool to be fair.
I like that.
That's class.
I like that. Well, I was on a TV programme myself back in the day.
Are you in River City?
Waterloo Road.
What was it? Waterloo Road?
14 hours, sitting in Greenock. Worst day of my life.
Really?
Aye.
Just to walk past a corridor.
No, it was to kick a ball at.
Oh, is it?
Really?
13-year-old.
Our
£150 though.
acting actually kind of runs in this room a wee bit. Then Connor Caldwell done some acting. He was an extra in Ned's as well.
He was in
actually.
Ned's, aye.
Is that something that?
Was he known?
No, he was not in the wee man.
No.
Is that something you
I went
aspire
for
to
audition,
do?
wee man.
Is that something you would aspire to do later in your career, move into acting, or do you fancy focusing more on comedy?
Not really, man. Like if I get acting, I'll only turn the money down. Like I'll do whatever you want to pay me today. I'm up for paying, basically.
I'll phone you later. Right?
Don't say that in this room, man.
There's a lot of boys in here who would pay you to do a lot of things.
It's a lovely sight I could get you in.
City building.
Aye, man. But I'm mainly comedy because that's kind of one thing in life that I'd be like, right, I've got some sort of skill level here.
What is the biggest like pet peeve? Is like, for example, obviously when you came and met us at Fives and that, like if I'm a comedian, right, and I'm doing it for a business and somebody tell me a joke, I'd be like, go off. Like, is that your biggest? Like, what is your biggest pet peeve?
I don't really have one anymore because I'm just it's one of those ones where it's like at the start you take yourself very seriously and shit like that, and you're like, oh fucking people asking me to tell my joke and stuff. They're just like, oh, you got to fucking pay me first. Like that's like you find your way out of it fairly quickly.
I don't know if I've got it in my pocket.
Man, but it's like one of these ones where like no, it's just I'm not really that fussed. There's not really much they can say to wind us up at this point about it because I'm like, I know my ability, like I know what I can do, like I know it's a lovable job for me.
I'll stop putting you in the spot. I've got 2 more questions right there. I'll stop putting you in the spot.
He's going to charge you now.
What's it like dealing with hecklers and stuff?
It just depends on the heckler, to be honest, man. Like,
what's the best heckle you've had?
Best heckle I've had? No one's ever really heckled me that well before. Like,
do you give them it back?
Aye, like if it's one of those ones where it's like I got called. I don't know if you would be able to put this out, but I got called a bastard in Blackpool.
That's a cut for producer James.
We just bleep that word and then we're good, man.
But it threw me because I'd never heard anyone say that in an English accent before.
Why did he call you that? Out of interest?
I'd walked on stage and I just was like, oh, I'm from Glasgow, and then the guy just went, well, you're a bastard. And then no one else in the room was like, oh, I can't believe they've said that, because they were all English as well, so it's like just me and this guy.
He probably didn't know what they was talking about.
Well, that was the thing. I was like, do you know what you've just said to me? He was like, no, I heard it on TikTok.
Oh my god, man.
Aye, go around bloody Celtic Park saying that, man.
Aye, I know.
No, and my last question is, what is it actually like to be God's brother-in-law?
It's actually class, man. Yeah, you know, well, the whole thing with that was just, I thought that was just a daft joke, but it really wound up a lot of people.
Aye, it didn't go down the best, did it?
No, well, that was the thing, because I didn't know that guy had seen the show, And then afterwards he came out and I got a bunch of, basically I done a show called God's Brother-in-Law, and a lot of Catholic people got very annoyed with me. And I got a lot of abusive emails and stuff like that. But the weird thing is, when like Catholic people are sending you abusive emails, there's always like, because obviously I'm Catholic, I was brought up Catholic, so they've always got to try and win you back at the end to be like, hey, just come back to the church though.
So they'll send you an abusive email says we'd welcome you back to.
Aye, there's an actual small print in that email. See you service Sunday 11 o'clock.
Aye, well that was the thing. It was always like half the email would be like, you're a terrible person, you're going to hell and all that stuff, and they're like, but there's hope for you still. You can come back from this.
Oh man, that's
Teresa,
exceptional. That's Teresa.
That's just a pure church name, innit?
Aye, there's always women called Teresa. Church.
I can say that, mate. I've been to church. I was an altar boy
Were you?
and a
Aye.
choir boy.
I done that as well, man.
You were a choir boy?
Aye.
Wow.
I can see you in the wee costume.
There's no costume.
There's altar boy, you get a wee costume.
Oh, is it? Is it no choir boy? Do you do that?
Altar boy.
Yeah.
Altar boy.
Oh,
Is it a big white robe?
Yeah, you got money for that though. You'd be
Did you?
walking in the
Did
church. but
you got money?
It was always weddings and funerals. That's where I would make my money. In
Oh, I said big bucks.
Aye.
Jeez.
I remember doing a service, right? I can't remember where it was, but it was like a 4-hour long service.
You still need
And
to talk
like,
about the army.
yeah, mate, trust me. there's
What a
worse than that,
mechanic.
mate. No, but like, see as a wee guy, obviously they're up doing singing the hymns and that, but like, see when you're a wee guy standing in the same spot for 3 years now, I don't know if it's because of my weight, right, but I can't stand still, right? I feel wobble side to side. And see, trying to stand straight for 3 years, the priest is walking past me with his, like, the smoking thing, the incense, going, stand still. I'm just a wee boy nearly greeting on stage, and he's like, right, we'll swap you around. So he's like, order a service. They've walked out, so I've went back behind the altar and just kind of kneeled down and sat.
It's the first time I've ever heard of an altar server getting subbed off.
Honestly, God, just picture me as a wee guy, mate. I was literally like this. Just at the side like that. I just couldn't stand still. He's doing an extra 3 laps going up and down.
Yeah, I can't breathe. This is too funny. Right, back to the football, man, because we went way off track here. Producer Dave's just called a cut because the other carry on. So, Partick Thistle, obviously, so close yet so far. What do we make of Partick Thistle?
They've been great in the playoffs.
Except the one they lost.
A step too far. I don't know how you lose that like that.
I think, as the playoffs always favour the Premiership team, because
I would agree.
with Partick Thistle had to play how many games to get to that point?
It was
4 games.
before last night. They played 5 games to get in that position.
Oh, right, yeah.
Aye, so when you look at that, you're like 5 games, and then it's the last 30-20 minutes of a game where they've lost it. It's like legs have clearly gone now. Like,
I guess it should just be a one-off game.
A one-off game at Hampden.
Yeah.
I've seen a few of that. I've seen that doing the rounds on Twitter.
You look at League 2 down in England, and they get to go to Wembley, League 1 Championship playoffs. They get to go to Wembley for their playoff final, so why doesn't Scotland do it?
I do understand that, but would you then not maybe argue that if you've got a lot of the teams in the Championship aren't from Glasgow, well, vast majority aren't, so if you get a team like Ross County, for example, who are up in Dingwall, and then you get, I don't know,
Partick Thistle.
talking sake, Partick Thistle, if you take that exact one, then you might argue that Partick Thistle have got an advantage because their players have been on the bus for 20 minutes.
Potentially,
it's like a neutral ground.
But
Aye,
they'll be there a night before and all that, wouldn't they? Like, obviously, like Ross County will be a night before. It's probably the biggest game of the season.
But it's still been completely stationary with no moving in that for 4 hours on a bus. That can't be good for you the day before playing a game.
You're right.
No. Terrible kick-off as well.
5:30 in Dingwall.
4:30.
4:30 in Dingwall.
Aye, terrible.
Aye, that's
I
long.
don't like that. But they had it in their hands.
Aye.
Like, they were in cruise control until the 70th minute, and then it's like that first goal went in, and that was it.
What did you make of the VAR decision, by the way? We'll just actually break it down. So, VAR decision, he's given the penalty after about 5 minutes worth of checking. Was it a penalty for you, or is it harsh?
Aye,
Nah,
that
it
was
was
a
a penalty.
You say it's pen? You say the same?
I thought it was a penalty.
Mm-hmm.
I get why people might think it's not a penalty, but no, it's a penalty.
I thought Partick Thistle were unlucky not to have a penalty in the first half, though. It was that
Aye,
Toure
one
boy,
aye,
or
aye.
was it the Kenny guy? He came in right across the guy, but they scored straight from that throw in anyway, so it didn't really matter.
They've got a great few players like Tiffany. Obviously, Graham's doing a good job up front, but
Fitzy's quality as well.
Fitzy's unbelievable.
Fitzy's
That goal in the first leg where he's just like kind of took it round 2 players and put it in the bottom corner.
Very, very good.
It'll be it'll be challenging. I feel like Partick Thistle need to win the league to come right up. Like I don't think they can do it through the playoffs again, and it's hard, like you say, for any team to kind of go through 5 games and then you're sitting with a Premiership team probably at the bottom of the stadium just playing 1 game. You'd think that the Premiership team should go in and romp these teams, but Partick Thistle went and proved that, like.
For me, the tactical change that cost them the game was bringing Banzo on.
Aye.
I felt like I think Stuart Bannigan's a phenomenal player. I really rate Stuart Bannigan very, very highly, but I feel like bringing him on in that game when you're just trying to see it out, I felt he slowed the game down too much from Partick Thistle's point of view.
Still had pressure.
I see, because he's happy enough sitting in deep because he knows he can go and press, but you're relying on everybody doing that. Like, you press in the right areas. I felt like he just looked a wee bit. The game was moving too quick for him. I don't think anyone coming off the bench for either team. Well, obviously Ross County have made positive changes, but if you're chasing the game, you can throw players on because it's full of adrenaline. If you're trying to play a bit smarter, I don't think I would make the kind of decisions. But
what the viewers can't see, if it's off camera, is the televisions actually fell on producer Reese's back there. He is okay, but as I said, the minute Ross County scored that goal, it was just written in the stars. It's just a script that Thistle were going to throw it away, and they did. But
coaching penalties.
Aye, wasn't good penalties. I wanted Ross County to go down for the sheer reason Jordan White scores a header against Rangers every game. It's all the time. I think he scored 9 goals this season. Half of them came against us. So
just quickly on the topic of penalties, if you want to see some really good penalties, check out our TikTok at wirelesspod. You'll see you scored some unreal pens. You scored some good pens. I didn't really score very good pens.
No.
I won 1 competition.
Aye. So da.
Hit and miss. Did you?
Blindfold.
Oh, the blindfold pens are hard. Mate, come down to the pitches next week and we'll get a game of blindfold pens. Oh my.
Don't.
It's so hard.
You try and take penalties and boys get blasted at you.
You didn't even take a penalty?
No, I did. I lost. I missed a penalty.
The man who said you should never ever miss a penalty.
It's my weak foot, 50% chance. And I tried to chip it to win it. But we've not got Andrew McNeil goals. But you can see him on the 1st of July at Renfrew Junior Stadium.
1st of July at Renfrew Junior. Get our tickets down below. Plug it as often as we can.
Send it to your granny, send it to your grandpa, send it to your Wayne. If your Wayne's 1, send it to him.
If you're a random family in Hull and you want to come down,
I wonder if we could actually reach out to that family and be like, listen, come along.
Sorry about this, it happened years ago. Here's complimentary tickets.
No, complimentary tickets for a £5.
Who would you?
Or £1.
There's a question. Who would you rather come to the event? Tom Stade or the family?
Both.
Both.
Just
It's
watch
a double
carnage.
act.
Just watch carnage unfold in the stands.
I will need to get segregation in the middle of them.
Somebody's tackled Liam. He's looking at the left and the Wayne's in the bouncing bit, but he's about 20-year-old. He's just sitting there and he's nappy still.
What age do you think he is?
It was 18, it was maybe about 6-7 years ago. 10.
23 now, so.
There you go. 5 years ago.
So I'm saying the Wayne's going to be about 20-year-old, like the Wayne's.
Wait, if the Wayne's in a bouncy hang 5 years ago, what age do you think he is?
Listen,
Is he going to be 15?
I got nat free mass. I don't count that much. I only count the fingers on my horn.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
This is horrendous, man.
This is
Right, so the penalties. Who was the best penalty in the night?
me, I would say.
No.
Oh, the
Thistle.
county and Thistle game.
I don't know names. I think it was it. How dare she? I think it was the Thistle boy where he's put it in sanction top left. I can't honestly.
McMillan.
Aye.
Oh, top left.
Aye, top left.
Aye, McMillan. He's actually very good.
That's a left back, innit?
He plays left and right back. He can also play centre half.
Aye, he's good, man.
Talking
He is
about
very good.
McMillan. In 2 seconds, I'm going to have something in my right hand.
Oh, wow.
So
Look at the edit.
I've been drinking this. That's why it's not got a lid on. McMillan office supplies will also be part of the charity match. So go get yours.
Aye, big appreciation to McMillan for sponsoring the event.
Lift it up for the camera to see.
Sponsorship
Lift it up for the
opportunities.
camera to see.
Sponsorship opportunities are available. Check it out on our Instagram page at wirelesspod.
Definitely. If you own a business or you know someone who owns a business and wants to get involved in a great day, definitely get in touch.
All the proceeds going to charity, and you
Yeah.
get to see Liam Farrelly fight Tom Stead,
Yep.
or have a drink competition.
Or
Would
have,
you get
or have
involved?
custody of a Wayne.
Wow. Would you get involved in a charity boxing event if we like to host one?
If he's wanted.
who would you want to box?
Devil's the Wayne.
Just like just
I
any
think
context.
I think we can make Bridges happen. You and Bridges.
Me Bridges.
No, you couldn't watch that. That's like, nah. No. Just instead of that, what you can do is just sit and hurl insults at each other, like just hilarious.
Oh my
insults.
god, verbal boxing.
Verbal boxing.
Oh my god.
That's a
Oh
shout.
my god, boys.
I like that
I'm
idea.
telling you.
Your book was pish.
Right, okay, so we've covered Ange, we've covered the treble winners, we've covered Ross County, now staying in the league. Quick word for St Mirren, your boys. Good season.
It was a good season, top 6. Let it go. When we got to the top 6, I think we just faded away basically.
It's a hard task, innit? It's
Aye, especially when you've got 3rd, 4th and 5th all battling for 3rd place basically, maybe 4th with that last European place, so it was going to be hard, definitely.
Great moments.
Yeah, a lot of great moments straight away, man.
What do you think of Maine?
I like Maine a lot. I think he was all. It was one of those ones where it was towards the end of the season. I think I always thought he was going to be away just because I thought if he was going to sign, he would have signed by now. But I think he'll go. It's Wrexham that are talking about signing.
Really,
him.
aye.
I think he'll do.
I could see him actually good in League 2.
Big money, man.
Definitely. He won the League 1 in 2016-17 with Portsmouth, didn't he? Curtis
He
Mead?
did, because I got that question right last week.
Well,
did,
it didn't matter for the end of the season, did it?
Shut up.
On that, actually, Craig's won the Who's That player, and he's also won 1 Year 50, so he's taking money off, have they?
Yeah,
What
look,
did I say? It was 4-1.
4-1, aye, you were just shot.
That would have been
No,
close.
it'd have been
Very
close.
unlucky.
I would have still bet you.
No, because it was like a 50-pointer or something.
If you got all 3, they would get 50 points.
But you didn't get off me.
I did
I know,
put
didn't
Kyogo first goal scorer.
You put McGregor, you changed it last minute.
Oh, so I did.
Aye, unlucky, man.
Unlucky. Anyway,
But on to our team of the year, but your task is you have to pick a combined 11 together. So you can all pick your own player, but I need you to settle on one between the 3 of you.
I like that. A wee bit of back and forth here.
Aye, so we're going to start off with the goalkeeper. Who's your goalie of the season?
Are we just going to go collectively and then...
Go one at a time, and then you just need to sit and argue out your points.
I went for a 4-3-3.
4-3-3. I feel like everyone goes 4-3-3.
I went
but
4-4-2.
But
There's too many good strikers this season.
I've went with a 10 and 2 strikers. Sorry, aye,
So
a
it's a
flat
dime.
3. False 9, basically, aye.
Right, okay, right. Cool.
No, you just went with 3 strikers up front.
Aye, pretty much.
Like a 4-3-1-2.
Aye, pretty much, aye.
Cool. Are you happy enough to go with that?
Yeah, I'll follow that.
No, really, to be honest, I just picked it.
Well, it's 3 midfielders, 2 wingers, and a striker. We'll go with that. We'll just whatever way you want to play the
Aye,
season.
my left mid will tuck in. I'll be
okay.
alright.
Okay, right. Goalkeeper.
I've got Joe Hart.
On what basis?
Makes clean sheets.
Right. Okay.
I would have gone. I'd have gone Carson or St Mirren.
Right. Okay. There's no bias at all here so far.
I went with Kilrus
Right.
for
Okay.
Aberdeen. 11 clean sheets, upgrading Joe Lewis, and brought in for a free. And they signed Jay Gorta for Ajax to replace him and never get a game. He's very good.
So how are you going to set with this?
I agree with you. I think the kill was between Carson and Roos for me.
Mhm.
But Roos had a terrible game when I saw him at St Mirren Park, so it swung it for me when I was like,
Trevor Carson's had a good season though,
yeah.
especially against Rangers.
Well, when you think as well, Dundee United sold him for us for 10 grand and then signed that Barragiti guy.
Oh, Berigati.
Aye.
I mean,
Aye. Well, does that come into play? How much they've paid for him and value for money? Does that come into how good he's been in the season? Does that come into whether or not he gets this spot in the team?
Still 10 grand more than Kilrus.
Aye.
But also does 3 trophies and a treble.
I think he's Joe Hart. Every time I've seen him against St Mirren has been poor. I thought he was really poor for the 2 goals Maine scored.
Let's be fair, we're going to have enough Celtic players in this team.
Right, okay, I'll let you have your moment. On you go.
So it's between. So you're the decider then. If you're forfeiting Hart,
I'll go with Craig's shout.
Kilrus.
Kilrus.
So we're going with Kilrus and goals. Either right
Oh.
back.
As we speak, Jack Butland has just signed for Rangers, guys.
Is it official?
It's official.
Butland signs. Let us know what you think down in the comments.
Right back, this should be unanimous.
Up and Tav.
Will
Yeah,
Jack
that.
Butland be a success?
Yeah, let us know, because he will.
Right, unanimous 3-0 Tav.
Aye,
Right
James
back.
Tavernier. Definitely.
No honourable shouts. Ryan Strain, very good season.
He's more of a wing back. I would
Max
say.
Johnson would probably be my shout
Who?
for Motherwell. Max Johnson.
Max Johnson, aye,
very good.
player.
I wanted Rangers to sign him, but it looks like he's going to go abroad, which will be a good move for him.
Mhm.
But I think for that backup right back for Rangers, obviously we signed another player before the pre-season as well. But James Tavernier has to
What
be.
do you think of maybe Chris Cadden is a fair shout?
I think he's very overrated.
Overrated?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Aye.
He's a good player, but
But overrated.
aye, He's a good player, but overrated.
I think that's harsh.
I think that's really harsh.
Does Alistair Johnson get an honourable mention?
He gets an honourable mention, but like Todd Campbell, and that's why he's known this team. He's not been here for long enough.
Aye, that's exactly the reason why.
Fair enough. I thought you were going to put up a fight for your boy Strain there.
I
That's what
like
was hoping.
Strain, but if you're playing a 4 at the back, I think he will get found out there. Like, he's much more a wing back. Like, most of the attacking stuff goes through him. So, but I suppose Tavernier doesn't do much defending. You know?
I mean, he's like you says about the cross for the Inverness goal. That takes Tav about 8 crosses before it gets the one right. No offence, obviously.
Okay, so if you went Tav, it's unanimous. You've got Tav. So who's your right-sided centre half? Surely unanimous again.
With Carter-Vickers.
Cameron Carter-Vickers.
Aye.
I'll go with that as well.
Carter-Vickers.
On what basis? Just that he's unreal.
But he's the best defender I've seen ever in Scotland.
What, in your lifetime? Big shot.
That I can remember. Definitely. Aye.
Would you go along with that?
I thought Van Dijk was better than he was.
No, I don't even think Van Dijk was the best centre half at
Denial
Celtic.
was a better.
Denial was better than Van Dijk.
At Celtic anyway.
Yeah, of course.
But they went on to have a bit. I think Van Dijk's went on to have.
Carter-Vickers, for somebody 6 foot, he wins everything. The amount of interception he makes is.
Him and Alistair Johnston, when
just
they obviously
amazing.
went injured, it proved how much big
How much I miss.
presences they were.
Aye, definitely.
Okay, so on to the left-sided centre half. I feel like this is where we're going to get into the first real debate, the first real argument. Left-sided centre half.
I know he's going to say Goldson, isn't you?
I don't know, here you go.
Starfelt.
You're going Carl Starfelt on what basis?
Craig's a stat man. I was speaking to Craig before this, right? And it was quite good. They're talking about what was the points per game realistically, and I think yours came down to that. But I just feel out the league, and I know it was a team of the season and nothing about partnerships, but I just feel he's improved his game so much. Like I can't remember what the Rangers game it is, but he won us that game. But he's grown confidence in playing for the ball for the back.
Final.
The cup final, running. Teams were letting him have the ball, and maybe it wasn't a strong point, but he's proved in the last season anyway. For me, he's definitely a first name starting on that sheet.
What are you going for?
I'd probably go Starfelt.
You go Starfelt as well?
Aye.
Oh, well, that's my argument done. I have went for Goldson. No.
You've got a chance. Is the votes on the end, so you all give your opinion and then you can battle.
No, it was unanimous.
Aye, well, you might be able to swing Liam. You don't know.
Right, so obviously Goldson was injured for a good part of the season. Still managed to hit 300 minutes in the league, which is actually 150 minutes less than Starfelt, which is surprising. He's the most important player for Rangers, in my opinion.
Yeah,
more important than Tav.
Okay.
100%. And you've seen the drop off defensively, especially it's the Champions League. It's not really the league, but when Golson's not on the team, Rangers are even worse defensively, and Rangers are no the great defensively, even when Golson is in that team. Tap's getting awfully close to me, by the way. But I think it's Golson. I think Golson's played better than Starfelt as well.
Is he done enough to turn your head? Like Casa and more?
I'd still go with Starfelt.
I'm fine with Starfelt.
It was a close shout either
but
way.
no, Golson's still better.
Left back?
Unanimous, I think, here. And I know it's got to hand over. They're talking about players in that, but I think Taylor's been exceptional.
I would go along to agree. For me, well, I'll come back to that, but what are you saying?
Bečić, Dundee United. I'm looking Taylor.
What are you thinking?
I'd go Taylor as well.
Taylor as well. We need to get some other clubs involved in this, man.
Just be as good as what the
Well,
other teams are doing.
Honourable mention for James Penrice.
Aye, Penners is. I've said that.
Very
I've said
good
that
season.
a few times
Very
to you.
good
See that left back? I would have thought. When I've seen him, most of the time he's been left wing. He's been playing.
Who? What? James Penrice?
Aye.
To be fair, he plays everywhere. I remember Celtic played Partick Thistle in a game that finished 3-1. It was Brendan Rodgers' last game. Penrice played in the middle of the park, and I don't think he misplaced a single pass all game. He's one of the players that, because of the technique he's got, the quality and the pace he's got, he can really play anywhere. He's very, very good.
Also, shout out to Split Ridvan Yilmaz.
No.
Aye, Yilmaz, I feel like when he's...
No.
Just
Just a shout out. Ben, come on.
bring it back to Taylor. You're going to say something.
Like Greg Taylor, for me, has been the best player in the league all year.
Really?
That's my personal opinion. Aye. I don't feel anyone's maintained the levels of consistency that he's had. For me, he's been an 8 out of 10 every single week, with the exception of a handful. I feel like consistent wise, he's been a mainstay in Celtic. Right, he's been Celtic's standout player at the start of the season. He was Celtic's best player up to Christmas. Coming back after Christmas, it was probably Cal McGregor. He came back fit, obviously you know what he does for Celtic. But for me, nah, Greg Taylor done it the whole season because McGregor was injured for 4 or 5 weeks. Kyogo another worthy shout. Carter-Vickers another worthy shout. But Carter-Vickers missed the last 7-8 games of the season. Taylor has barely missed a game of the season.
No.
Scored important goals, important times, big tackles, big moments in big games. So Greg Taylor for me.
Fair.
And he looks bust after the first minute, and he just
I don't know.
he does, doesn't he?
It looks crazy, man. It's mental, right? So obviously we've agreed a 4-3-3. So I'll move my right mid into centre mid.
Right, okay.
Right. So on the right I had Josh Ginnelly.
That's a very good shout.
Okay. Definitely not a centre midfielder though.
No, of course not. Right. So obviously we weren't briefed on formations before we started.
Maybe
Right.
you push him into right wing.
Right. So you want Dijk, who I've got in the left at centre mid.
Who's your right winger?
Josh Ginnelly. I had 4-4-2.
Oh, it's just play one of your strikers as a 10.
Okay. Right. First centre mid, McGregor.
Right, okay.
Yeah, unanimous for me anyway.
Yeah, I think he'll be in there.
If we need to get other teams involved in this, the comments are going to go
How
nuts.
can we? It's the team of the year. This is the team of the year.
If you're talking about honourable, like he says, like shouts and that, then I fair play. But
Right, honourable. Obviously, you've got Campbell in there.
I
You've
think
got
it's
Rasmus in
actually,
there.
I think it's actually quite fitting that you're on this podcast, obviously being a St Mirren fan, because there's definitely a St Mirren midfielder
Ohara.
that's in
That's
this
what I
team.
was going to
100%.
say. He's gonna,
100%,
I
mate.
think O'Hara should be in there.
100%.
I think
Yeah.
maybe for the one I was kind of swayed on putting in, which I don't know, I'm going to say it now. I've got Tillman in, right? But I feel like it's very interswap between the two.
I'd think Tillman's gone missing a lot.
I
this
would,
season.
I would actually put O'Hara before Tillman.
Yeah, I'd go
I
O'Hara.
agree.
Because every time St Mirren needed someone to kind of step up,
Yeah.
he's been there. Like even those goals at Ibrox,
Oh my
both
God.
of them are like.
The fact that wasn't the
ridiculous.
goal of the season, I know.
So I'm not giving my vote, right? Obviously, because it wouldn't work that dynamic, because then it would be 2v2 in some stages, right? But for me, what I'm looking for a team of the year is someone who's contributed to where their team's got to. So Kyogo scored like 30 odd goals in the league, so Celtic finished top of the league, so he's been a major contributor. Carroll, Starfelt and Carter-Vickers, loads of clean sheets between them. Joe Hart doesn't concede a lot of shots on goal because of how good they are, so Joe Hart's probably edged out of that for me. Greg Taylor, because he's played every minute and contributed to Celtic winning a treble, so that comes into it for me. Malik Tillman has contributed to Rangers winning nothing this season and finishing second behind Celtic, comfortably second to Celtic this season. So Mark O'Hara getting St Mirren into top 6 for the first time in 10 years, is it?
Yeah, first time.
No, 1984-85 season.
Oh, really? Aye, is it that long?
really
Never mind then.
So-
I'll go back and tell
That's,
O'Hara gets
that's how I would personally score it,
Yeah.
but obviously
But then
that's
again,
up to yourselves.
I'm going to back myself here because I don't like getting put in a corner. I thought it was just like our team of the season, no collectively put in, so that's...
Aye, so that was just so you all do your research and come and pose an argument. That's fine.
I think he's St Mirren's top scorer as well, O'Hara.
He's been the best player for St Mirren this
Yeah.
season, definitely.
Aye.
One of him and Strain were the most consistent players in
Yeah.
that team.
Trevor Carson also. As
Aye,
well.
Trevor Carson.
The
So-
other centre mid then, if we're going
Aye, so you-
McGregor, O'Hara. I'll let them... Aye,
Have you
O'Hara.
picked O'Hara then? He's taking O'Hara in the team?
Oh well, who's
What-
your other
so
centre?
No, my other centre mid's Hatate.
Aye, mine's is Hatate as well.
So you're going McGregor in the middle,
Hatate.
Hatate, and then we're picking the third
I think
midfielder.
I think we should shout for that boy for Aberdeen as well, that
Clarkson.
Ramadani. And
Oh, Ramadani as well.
Yeah,
I would
I
say
like him.
Clarkson before
I
Ramadani.
think Clarkson's more like kind of headline gram, but I think when you watch what Ramadani does, like he keeps that team ticking over.
Ramadani
So a
was
famous
ve-
person, a famous quote once says to me, right, and I'll use Ramadani. If you watch Ramadani, it was you that said it, wasn't it? 'Cause I
I
don't like it
didn't
right.
know about Ramadani, it was about Busquets.
I know, but
You've got it mixed up already.
right. Leave it then.
Right, if you're
I'm
going
going home.
if you're going the other centre mid, I'm going to obviously need to drop a striker into the 10. So I'll drop Van Veen into the 10.
Right, okay, that's
He
interesting.
could definitely play the 10.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
I
So
don't hate that. I would say Van Veen needs to be in the team somewhere.
Aye,
but
100%.
you've picked McGregor and Hatate. You're now
O'Hara.
arguing between the third centre mid.
O'Hara.
So
Well, if you
this is between O'Hara and
Tillman.
Tillman then. No,
Right.
O'Hara, Tillman and Van Veen for
and,
that final
and if
spot.
you choose O'Hara, you're not going to have Van Veen on it. So who's had the better season?
McGregor, Hatate.
Van Veen.
You've got Van Veen or O'Hara to pick between if you're rolling Tillman out.
who's your striker? Who you going up front?
Kyogo.
Kyogo.
I feel like it's hard to.
I think you could play.
Like,
you
Kyogo's
could
the
play
first name.
Van
In,
Veen on the wing maybe.
It's your team, lads. You need to sort it out. What's going on?
well, my right mid's Josh Ginnelly. And I think Ginnelly's had a better season than Tillman and Mark O'Hara.
Oh, I don't know if I'd agree with that. Josh Nelly's very good, but I don't know if he's had a better season. Finishing 4th. No a lot of goal contributions.
20 goal contributions this year.
I know.
Actually, every...
How many in the league though? Is it not 8 in the league?
No. 12 goals, 8 assists. And,
In the league alone?
yes, every 170 minutes he's got a goal contribution, which is the 8th best in the league.
Oh well, that's fair enough then. I didn't actually realise that. I don't think.
So that is why Josh Nelly is in there. And he's been Hearts' best player behind Shankland this season. And when Shankland's out injured, his performances up front as a lone striker was very good. As just an out-and-out winger.
So you could do, because Vanveen, when Hamill was there, he was played on the left, so you could do Vanveen, Kyogo, Janelli.
Oh, that is a naughty front
where
three.
does
Where do you
Duke go?
put Duke?
Where does Duke go?
When you look at it, Vanveen's had a better season than Duke, I would say.
So,
Right, we need to settle on a formation here, right? Because you've got a 4 and a 2. He's kind of deciding what you're going to do. So you want to change to a 4-4-2 and just have they two in the middle.
I think we just all put it forward our team of the season.
No, you need to settle. You need to settle on them. That's the point.
Let the special guest pick. What do you want to go with? 4-4-2, 4-3-3.
Would you rather an extra striker or an extra centre mid?
I'd go an extra centre mid.
Right, so 4-3-3.
Right, okay, 4-3-3. So who you taking?
I'd put Ohara in.
Ohara?
Ohara, McGregor, hatate.
I'll go with the changer, Tillman. Even though there is a shout, but like you say, if you're talking about top 6 since 84, the goals that he's contributed to, not all penalties by the way, like Peninier. But
Peninier. Just if you're going to make that joke, pronounce his name, please.
no thanks. But aye, Ohara, I'll go with that.
You good?
Aye.
Right, so your front three then. We'll start off with your left winger.
Mine's is No, it's no. Aye, it has. I'm going to put Duke in left.
Aye,
Duke on the left.
That's me as well.
I'd go Vanveen.
On the left.
See, this is where I was torn because I want to play Kyogo somewhere in that front three.
Yeah,
Up front.
I'd go.
All right, because I want Van Veen.
Wait, so you're going to put the top goal scorer with 35 goals this season and move him to the right?
Play him as a right forward.
If you're playing a 4-3-3, right, you're on your left winger. So let's just judge them based on their ability as a left winger.
Duke's played off the left off Miofsky
Aye,
most of this season.
As has Kevin Van Veen. He played there under Hamill.
Aye, but he didn't score most of his goals under Hamill.
Don't
Scored most of
disagree
his
with
goals under Kettlewell.
But
Don't
to be
disagree.
fair, if he was scoring goals, and Motherwell were terrible when Hamill was in charge, and he still managed to get the goals.
Fair. As a left winger, Duke's better. As a left winger, as a striker, Van Veen's better.
So, how
So,
do you
but so
like
then,
work
but you go move Van Veen to striker, but Kyogo's better. So where is the place for Van Veen? Are we just going to have 3 attackers in here and just go for vibes?
Listen, man.
Because no right winger in this league has been better than Van Veen this season.
When you're the manager, you need to make these tough calls.
Yeah, look, Van Veen can play anywhere.
Maybe you go Duke off the right, Van Veen off the left, Kyogo through the middle.
Duke's not played off the right at all this season though.
If you're just fitting them at your team of the year. So you're judging them based on the seasons that they've had, and how they've contributed to their team's outcome.
Look, Duke, Van Veen and Kyogo's the front 3.
Aye.
We can all agree on that.
Aye.
They can interchange.
Do you know what? Let them do what they want.
I let them do the one. I remember watching prime Kenny Miller, Wycall and Mackay under Warburton. They just...
I've never had to go through their turmoil times.
What do you mean turmoil? Cowdenbeath away, Dumbarton away, good away days.
We only go to cup finals.
That's fine.
So that's your team of the year, guys. We'll drop it on the screen now. Let us know down below what you think of that team. Let us know who had the best shouts, the worst shouts. I reckon you had some badgings.
And if you'd make any changes. Was
Aye,
anybody
definitely.
we missed? I don't think we missed anybody.
I think there's a lot of honourable shouts, but when a team wins a treble, it's kind of hard not to kind of feel that way.
I would agree that the 11 that we've picked are pretty much the biggest contributors that you can pick for each position. Like, I would say it's a very strong team.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very strong team. But we're not finished yet. Now you've got to pick your player of the year.
Kyogo.
Kyogo.
I would have an outside shout for Van Veen.
Go Kevin, I mean.
Aye, just because I think that Motherwell team was so bad for so long.
Yeah.
Like, it's ridiculous that he's got the amount of goals that he has.
Uh-huh.
Like, if he was playing for any team in the top 6, like, I think he would have got a lot more goals. I think he would have probably got more goals than
He contributed to 40% of their goals this season,
Aye, that is ridiculous, isn't it? That is mad
which is
stats.
crazy.
Would you take him at Celtic or Rangers if you were a Celtic or Rangers fan?
I think it's one of those ones where I don't. It's the first real season he's been like a proper like massive goal scorer. Like, I think you need to go down to like when he was playing in like the Dutch third tier before he was like banging in goals consistently. So it's one of those ones where you don't know if it's just one of those seasons for him.
Aye.
But I think it's mental what he's managed to do with a team who were as bad as Motherwell for as long as they were
Aye.
bad.
No, I think that's a fair shout.
Just after the World Cup, like February, March time, I remember saying that, like, I'm kind of worried for Motherwell for going down.
Mm-hmm.
Kettlewell came in and it's been brilliant for them.
Aye, Kettlewell's turned it around very, very well. Very good.
I feel trying to make a wee
I
joke
wasn't
in the
even,
bell
but
there.
as soon as I said it, I was like, it sounds like bad patter, but I never even meant it.
No, Vanveen is an outside shout, and I'm actually glad that he get recognised as that kind of short list of 4. But it's Kyogo.
Would you? I'm honestly, I know I've said Greg Taylor, but do you remember there was probably a 2-month period between like October and December, people were saying that Kyogo was miles off it. That was in the papers, it was on Twitter, it was blah blah blah.
That just shows you how amazing though the second half of the season was.
Aye, no, I get that, but for me, in terms of levels of consistency, his contribution, his output, the minutes he played, Greg Taylor for me has been Celtic's standout. He's taken to that role of filling inside so well. He tucks in, he can draw players away. Take the goal against Hearts a couple of weeks ago, that sums up the way that Greg Taylor's came on. He drifts into that wee pocket where you used to find players like Tom Rogic. Now Taylor's getting in there, slitting passes through. I think he's been absolutely exceptional.
I've actually got him down as unsung hero at Celtic.
Aye.
That was in my notes.
Aye, genuinely, I think, because if he was a new signing, see if this was his first season at Celtic, he'd had all the plaudits, sorry. But see, because he's not, he had I don't want to say a bad first couple of seasons, but he wasn't like a standout. He was kind of fighting with a place for ball and goalie, which kind of tells you where the team was at that time.
What a guy.
It's hard boots to
What a
fill.
guy.
It is hard
What a
boots to
guy.
fill when somebody like Kieran Tierney goes down.
Aye, no, I agree.
Like,
I agree.
all of that on board, but like you say, I think
You sang his praises for a
I've
long
sang his
time.
praises for a long time, and I just think I'm so happy that he's now getting the recognition that he deserves.
Aye.
But like he says, he is probably the second, third heartbeat in that team. Like, there'll be a core group of players that will keep that going. And I can see him like with Cal.
Aye, him.
He is captain material.
Aye. Even players like Scott Bain as well, I think, are important to that. See, just that central group that are that keep sort of everything ticking in the team.
You can
that
tell with a
level
picture.
of solidarity.
You can tell with a picture. See the picture at Hampden. You can tell all the players that are beside each other.
Aye,
Like,
it's
like
all
Cal,
pals.
It's
Taylor,
not even that,
Turnbull.
it's-
Like,
Aye.
See if you ever see like training videos on social media when they play sevens or something, it's always the same core who wins, and it's always like the third choice keeper, the scud book left back, and it's always but they're always like together. But aye, definitely.
Who's been your signing of the season?
Right, so I've got 3.
Right, okay.
Duke for the obvious.
Okay.
Todd Cantwell for the actual impact.
yeah.
He's been the best player since the World Cup, and he like 100%.
Oh, I don't know if I got that far.
Nah, definitely would.
I don't know if I got that far.
And Jan Danda for Ross County.
Jan Danda's decent, but I don't know if you can put somebody in there as
6 goals, 4 assists in his last 10 appearances. Crucial goals at the crunch time of the season.
penalties.
He's still.
Aye, listen, I don't
Still got to
dispute that you
score
still
it.
need to score them, but if you're finding yourself in 11th, does that make you the best signing? I don't know.
Aye, but they were bottom when they signed him.
Nah, I don't know.
No, sorry, when they signed him at the start of the season. Signed him at the start of the season, he was injured a lot before the World Cup, and he signed on a free, so it didn't cost him any money. So his goals at the crunch time of the season during the split saved him.
Would you not argue Kyle Roos then?
Well, possibly, that's another sign of the season. Yeah, but Jan Danda definitely deserves a shout.
Who you going with then out of those 3? Ellie Yuan as well, worthy mention maybe?
I kind of 2. Whatever you can say, another Celtic player, whatever. But I had Duke and Johnston for the time that he's came in after Juranovic. But I get what you're saying about Campbell in terms of his goal. I wouldn't say he's been a very, very good player in the league, but Negredo just puts it off for me. No, I'm kidding.
I think from my point of view, if I was going to pick a player of the year, like who's made the
Signing
biggest,
of the year.
who's made the biggest impacts in signing for a club, I'd say it's probably Todd Cantwell.
Yeah.
I feel like Rangers have played their best football in the last probably year and a bit since Cantwell signed. I think he's been the heartbeat at all of it. So I would say Cantwell for that aspect. I just don't think he's been there long enough to justify giving him it.
That and same with the team of the season. I said that me and Craig were having a conversation. Alistair Johnston for me would be probably in there if he had a full season.
Aye.
Saying that,
For me, I think signing of the season's got to be Duke.
I would say Duke.
Aberdeen were absent from the top three for too long. That
Yeah.
third place spot was vacant for too long for them, and he's come in and they've won it back that first season.
I'd
So
love Rangers to sign him. I'm
particularly,
sorry. Very unpopular opinion. I say it constantly, but I'd love for Rangers to sign him.
who would you say?
I would go. It's going to shock you. I'm going to go with St Mirren player. I would go Kevin O'Hara. Mark O'Hara actually.
Oh well, aye, that's another good shout.
That is a
Actually,
good-
I forgot he signed.
Because
this
he
season.
was
That's
a
great
free
shout.
signing from Motherwell.
I didn't even realise he signed this season.
Aye, that's a very good shout actually.
Thought I could. Well, him and Duke are the two players in the team of the year.
Aye, I would say it's between the two then. I would go for that. What are we going to go for then? We'll try and finish unanimous.
rock
on
paper
that.
scissors.
Nah,
No.
nah.
I'd go Duke personally.
Duke, what's a bigger achievement? Aberdeen finishing third or St Mirren finishing top six?
Or
Aberdeen finishing third. It's a Europe spot.
Europe spot. Aye,
Is that a bigger achievement though? Aberdeen
Yeah,
have got more money to
100%.
spend. than St Mirren.
That goes down to an opinion based. I feel.
they're playing
Stephen
European.
Robinson and
They're playing
Corby.
European football until Christmas. That's them guaranteed group stage football.
Stephen Robinson took over a team that hadn't been somewhere for 30 odd year.
Aye, no, I
put them in the
get
first
that, but
season.
aye,
Yeah, when
that's
he
a
came
good
in,
achievement.
We were
That's a-
we were in a relegation battle and we struggled to get out of that. We just about got out of it, and then he came in, signed a bunch of his own players. Marco Harris came in for free, top scorer. Like how much was Duke came in for?
Nothing.
Aye, he was free as well.
It was
but
free.
they
It
get,
was an
like,
academy fee.
he's free, but he gets like who's it? Benfica, is it?
Mhm.
Get like 30% of the money that Aberdeen
Right.
sell him for, whatever,
Aye.
something like that.
That is, I didn't know. I thought he'd paid money for him. Was it Mayoski they paid money for then?
Aye, that was like 1.5 million or something for me.
Was it?
Mhm.
Right, aye, fair. Aye. Go on, that's a good point for Duke then. It was free.
Aye.
Still.
And 24 goal contributions, 33 appearances. I've got loads of stats here, by the way.
I would probably go. Oh, I don't know, mate. That's so hard between the two.
If you go O'Hara, it goes to rock paper scissors. So just say.
I'm gonna go Duke purely based on the fact that he's played all season. O'Hara was injured for about 4 or 5 weeks. That's harsh on him, but just do you know what I mean?
Liam, 2 words, won't be back.
What have we got? We've still got
Manager.
manager, young player, and flop.
Manager, I take it we're all going to be in the same boat.
Shout out to Stephen Robinson though.
Shout out
Yeah,
Stephen
Stephen
Robinson,
Robinson.
100%.
You can't go against Ange. He's won a treble, right? That's it. But Stephen Robinson
I
definitely.
think Kettlewell as well.
Yeah.
If he'd
Kettlewell.
been there longer, I think he would have been fine. But like coming at that team was shockingly bad.
Aye. No, I
He's
don't
turned
disagree.
it around.
I don't disagree. So manager, I take it we're all saying Ange. Don't waste
Yeah.
any more time on Ange. I feel like he's had enough airtime this evening.
Yeah.
Aye. It's been the last time we ever speak about him.
So
Thank God.
This might influence your vote. Duke cost Aberdeen €470,000.
Wow.
nah, it's like
Nah, it still doesn't hang me.
nah.
Nah, but it's worth $500,000 to them. Definitely
It
worth.
could be a mere shout actually. I'm going to change my vote to Mark O'Hara.
It's rock paper scissors then.
Right, we'll need to think. I'll count us back in and we'll just cut that bit. Just. This fucking-
Yeah, I was talking about Dick because I thought I was in camera. $470K. I'm certainly paying a fee for him. But
I thought it was like 30-40k, and that's why I just said it was nothing.
I'm using myself in this boat. I panicked because I had already done this and then I was like, shit, I need $470K.
We ready?
So I was recording me, cheese.
have you got the note? Aye.
Aye. But it's going to be, if you're going to change your vote, you need to mention it at the start.
Aye.
Just say you for that change of heart.
Nah, I'll just say it just had a VAR check.
Right, go for it.
3, 2, 1. We've actually just had a VAR check, and Duke actually cost Aberdeen €470,000. So I'm going to change my vote to Mark O'Hara
You want to do rock paper scissors against the Harris or what?
against O'Hara.
Are you confident?
I'm very confident.
You do it then.
Just the
Me and you.
UV.
Alright, we're doing it.
Right, I like your shoes.
Cheers, man.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Oh, well, fucking.
You need to go and shoot. You need to go and shoot.
Wow.
Full straw. Full straw.
Right, I still like your shoes. On shoot, right?
Right, okay.
No, because he seen what I like. Go rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Ohara it is.
VAR check that, because that did happen the first time. There's a wee mind game I like to play.
Swear, if we've gave Mark Ohara a lot this evening.
Listen,
Aye.
he's been a good player.
He's had a very good season. So on to the last award, I believe.
No, there's two. Young player and then flop.
Oh, young player.
Malik Tillman.
I put Malik
What's,
Tillman in.
what's the age cut off?
23.
23, I would say.
Duke's 23.
Oh, it's tough, man.
I hate the 23 a day. I know that is the rule. I know it is. But I just hate
Should
it.
we let Brad James pick this one?
Aye, go on, Pro James.
Duke.
There we go. There we go. It's Tillman. Finally, a bit of recognition.
Nah, I don't think he's had a bad season. I don't think he's had a bad season. I feel like he's not contributing enough to...
To your standards.
No, I wouldn't say to my standards. I feel like you need to look at what someone's producing for their team, right? You can get all the goals that you want, but see if you're no getting your team out of positions or... Do you know what I mean? See, at Rangers signing you for $4.5 million, right? Or whatever the talk is. I know it's a loan deal now, but for talk of $4 or $5 million to come in, okay, he's get some goal contributions. I think it's 15 all in.
10 goals for assists in the league.
In the league, so 14 goal contributions for a centre mid isn't it bad? It's not bad numbers, but if you're coming in with a price tag of $4.5 million, I would expect that. Look at what Todd Cantwell's doing. Todd Cantwell's had a much better season in my opinion. He's got a better goal to game ratio than what Tillman's got. He looks better in the games. He produces more in the games.
Premier League player though. Tillman's 20-year-old and
I
first
don't
professional
disagree. I
full
don't disagree,
season.
but they come in for the same fee.
Still, like as I said, it's a Premier League player comparing to a 20-year-old who's never played a full season.
But they're coming in for the
professional
same
football.
fee, and he's younger.
No,
if he's younger, then he's
I get what you're saying. It's the same fee. It's two different personalities. It's a 25-year-old who's had many years of high-level Premier League football compared to a 20-year-old who's never played professional.
but that's how I'm scoring it. I'm scoring it as his output isn't as good as the other players around about him. So that's my judgment
fair.
for the centre
But
mid.
Cantwell's also came into a team that has actually got organisation under Beale. Tillman played at the start of the season where we were under Gio with no organisation and we was looking our best player at times.
Again, that's speculation. Just because you're
It's
looking
not
at
speculation.
it.
That's
Well, no, you're looking at it for the point
Oh,
of
am
view
I?
of. But you're looking at it for the point of view of. I didn't rate Rangers at that time. So
nobody
there was-
rated Rangers at that time.
Well, it's the same manager you were raving about a couple of months ago because he got you to a Europa League final.
Aye, yeah, of course, but opinions change.
Shut up and let's go on, man.
That's the point. It's a conversation.
That is.
You're kicking each other under the desk, man.
No, I'm not.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is how you interrupt something. Like,
I
you
didn't
read
need
something.
interrupted. That was a good thing.
Alright, that's fine.
Oh,
Right. Flop of the season.
he's started.
Flop of the season. I
Harry
think
McCurdy.
Flop of the season was you in the Christmas episode when you tried to
Oh,
hit your
here he
big
comes. He's coming back.
Here we go.
We might need to clip that. I don't
Please
know.
clip that in.
It's at the one when he touches it. He goes right.
And please clip in every single take it took for Jamie to score a penalty that day. Thank you.
I don't think that's actually correct.
Oh, James, I'm sure you've still got the files on that computer.
He's got a lot of files in that computer.
Right, flop of the season.
Harry McCurdy.
Oh, that's harsh.
No, it's not.
That's harsh.
22 games,
Wait till
not
you
a goal
wait
or an
till you-
assist.
Wait till you hear his shout, and then you come back to me.
Oh, my shout's a good shout.
I know, but like,
Anthony Stewart.
that was a
That is
different
actually
one.
a very
That's
good
a different
shout.
one you told me before. Fair play.
Oh, no. It's the one I told you. I'll say it after we've all said it's an honourable
That's a
mention.
great shout. What do you think?
Barry Gate for
Oh,
United.
but aye.
Ah,
Sam
shit,
Ferry,
they
good
paid
shout.
money for him as well.
Aye. That's a good shout. He's the worst keeper I've ever seen. And I've seen Steve Simonson in goals.
Oh, that is. Oh, mate, there's some very good shouts
Ah.
in there, by the way. Very
Can we
good
just get
shouts.
to all three of them?
No, say your other one.
Honestly, Haxa.
No, the other one as well.
No way. That's been a flop.
He is the most overrated player in Celtic.
He is.
I'm not even.
He squared up to a ball boy at St Mirren Park.
Can I tell you a funny story about St Mirren Park? Me and you went, and it was a 1-1 game before Christmas, and last year, so there was like where the Celtic fans sit.
Was
there's,
that the COVID one where we
Aye.
played all the youth players?
Aye. So what was it like? The ball at the side. Yeah.
Oh, aye, the mum was just
The
screaming
mum was getting at
abuse.
pelters, right? So this guy in the Celtic Win just slaughtered their Wayne, right? For whatever reason.
He
His-
slaughtered her Wayne?
Aye, like a Wayne, like I say a Wayne, but he's about your age, right? I think anyway. Don't know where I'm going with this conversation, but just patch it. I can't say that in camera.
Right, flop of the season.
It was going to say Obligard as well.
No, wasn't he?
Oh,
That was Prodrice.
Abelgard. I can actually kind of see that one. Hacks is.
Give me the eyes. You were going to say him.
Hacks not been a
I
flop.
was never. Honestly, maybe a flop's maybe the wrong word, but I genuinely do think he's very overrated. I've never.
We'll see next season when he's had a full pre-season under his belt. I think he's very. I think I'd rate Haksabanovic very highly.
Just his grill and.
It's nice. I like that. I rate it. I'm gonna
Can
get
we
one
see you
of
in
them
a
for a charity match. First of July, referee juniors. Aye.
Well.
Flop of the season.
How much did
I'm gonna-
United pay for Barragate?
I'm going to get to Barragate.
Prodrice, can we check that? Are we fact check?
It's got to be a few K anyway.
I'm going to say 350.
I think it was that, and when you think about them letting Carson go for 10 grand,
I'm sure he was goalkeeper of the season in
he
Australia.
was, yeah, he was,
And he came in with a lot of hype, and
because he was international for Australia as well at some point as well.
aye, that looks terrible.
I'm going to be honest. I thought someone was going to come out with an obscure shout tonight. I thought there was going to be a shout for a manager who's been sacked twice in the same season. Well, not sacked twice in the same season, but sacked in the season and relegated in the season.
Oh, Jim Goodwin.
I thought someone was going to say Jim Goodwin.
Yeah, look,
I feel sorry for him. I think he would have done well with Aberdeen if they had just kept him. But
there's one guy.
he went to a sinking ship.
There's one guy on this podcast who's not here tonight who was ranting and raving about Jim Goodwin when they took over with Dundee United.
Is this Dicko?
This is Dicko. Loves him. Absolutely loves him. I think he shouldn't have left St Mirren.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Like, probably best for St Mirren that he did leave. But
Worked out well.
he's went to Aberdeen. It's no been great. Was he the manager for the 6-0 and 1-0 against Darvo? Or was that still Stephen Glass?
No, he was.
He was.
He was there.
He was the manager for.
And then took Dundee United from 10th to 12th. So that could be flop of the season.
Aye, you know, it's hard to argue when you put it like that. I just said it's an outside shout, but
Aye. Anthony Stewart's up there because he got brought in, made captain immediately, which is a strange shout,
Yeah.
and was still captain for 6-0 against Hibs and then the 1-0 against Darvo. And then got loaned back out.
aye, that's
Aye.
true. Well, we
This
don't.
VAR check is taking longer than the decision at Dingwall.
Nobody's reported a fee anywhere.
Nobody's
Really?
reported a few.
Undisclosed could be in.
I can't believe they've signed him for 5.8 million. Unbelievable.
So obviously we've finished on flop of the season, right? So I don't want to leave on like a doom and gloom.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to pay you a £5 and you tell us a joke.
Alright, there you go.
Nah, I'm only kidding you on. But
I was buzzing. I was going to take that and use it
So
at
was
work.
that. So was that. I was quite buzzing on that.
no, in all seriousness, but what's the best experience that you've had through comedy,
Best-
other than waking up in random gas with Wayne's?
Oh.
That sounded bad.
Oh.
Right, let's get that checked.
That sounded bad.
Penalty just.
I don't know, man. Like, it's mainly the 3 bars after. Mostly like.
Is
the
that
bit-
good?
Aye, the 3 bars after gigs are class, man. But I usually.
How
miss
do you
them.
get into being a comedian then?
I'll get you signed up, man. I'll get you a gig.
You got to be
I'd
funny
get
first.
pelters, man.
So here's a question actually for you,
Dijk.
right? So see when we do like these wee mini games that we do, like on like who's that player and that type of stuff, the loser has to do a forfeit.
Right.
Do you think we could like get in like the stand or something? Like could you
Oh
set
my
it up
God.
and one of them's got to go out and
Oh
do a
my
stand up
God.
show?
I could.
Even like for 10 minutes or something.
Aye, like
you'd
5 minutes
get,
set.
You get 5 minutes. You'd need to apply for the draw, but they put you on. So.
How do you
really?
like? What was your how?
You might be waiting a while for a spot. It might be like a couple of months.
I will
before they
wait
put on.
to see Conor McInnes stand up. It's him. Conor McInnes is actually the loser.
See if we put like an earpiece in his ear and tell him what to say and all that.
Like
would-
Practical
would-
Jokers.
Aye, but would that like interfere with the mics and all that, Jenks?
I think it would. I don't think you'd be allowed to do that, but you could.
It just
you
he
could.
just has to go up.
How do you even? How does one write comedy? Like,
You just say what you think's funny, and then the crowd let you know if it's funny or not.
Aye, there you go.
Well, is that hard to gauge, right? So have you ever had something in your head where you're like, oh, this is just a daft thing, and then they find it hilarious, but
Yeah.
also the flip side where you're like, this is going to be so funny, and then people just go, ah.
Aye, it's weird. That's always a gutter when you're like, that's a belter, and then you're like, right, I'll take this, and then you try it. You're like, they're just a bad crowd. And it's like, five gigs later, and you're still doing it. You're like, nah, that bit just doesn't work.
Speaking of sponsors, if you're into football collections,
I thought you were going to say
head over to @IG Collections _98 for your best football gear. Get yourself a retro St Mirren
something
tap.
close to it anyway.
what do you think of that St Mirren tap?
Oh,
My this season I think is a lot better.
Is that the black
paisley
paisley
pattern?
pattern?
Yeah, that one's class. Aye, that one I think was when we were in the championships. I think that was the season we went up, because I have a vague memory of Lewis Morgan scoring a belter in that.
Sweet Prince.
Do you know what was one of the best things about St Mirren? I don't know if it was this season. Ewan McVicker.
Aye.
I love that man.
Have you ever come across him?
Ewan McVicker.
Are he DJ?
Oh,
Tell me something good.
Aye, that's I can never remember that guy's name. Aye, that was class. That Kent announcement video.
Aye, it's so cool.
Aye,
So good, man.
So cool.
DJ, roll it out. Dun-dun-dun-dun.
So before I sign us off, before I outros, obviously you're coming on 1st of July.
Aye.
You look forward to it?
Aye, man, it should be fun. See how it goes.
Obviously all in a good cause, we're all raising money for charity, but we're playing against the Scottish YouTube team. Have you seen anyone that you're looking forward to playing against?
No, I've not seen anybody yet. You've been bigging them up to me though, so I
Aye,
don't know how this is
so
going to
they're
go
good.
for this year.
Nah, listen, we've got Reese, like Nathan Shelley's got a wee plan cooking for us, so
Yeah, you had the whiteboard it.
aye, he had the whiteboard out with Gnos and stuff.
What do you think about us playing a 4-4-3?
4-4-3. Vanveen on the left.
Do you say a 4-4-3?
Aye, because I'm sure it was James that said it in the chat about playing 4-4-3s.
Aye, he's like, I think we should just be setting up to play out for the back with a nice 4-4-3. I was like, what?
Aye, but see what James is saying is he's counting that first four as the keeper as well.
No,
Aye, the goalie steps in and makes it a back
Oh,
four.
of course, man.
Aye,
Aye.
James is a streets ahead of us.
Oh, of course, definitely.
Well, it's been an emotional roller coaster. We've only covered half the season, but it feels like we've covered the full season.
Well, we had the World Cup as well, didn't we?
We had the World Cup. What's been your highlight of the season before we go?
Remember when Connor kept swearing?
Oh, the.
Aye, this is top that.
This is genuinely my favourite episode to record.
100%, it's been the funniest.
Aye,
I
definitely.
wonder why.
Aye, bring a comedian on. What are you doing?
I'm contemplating another season of this. No, kidding on. It's been great. Obviously. Aye, no.
Yeah, do you know, I'm so glad though that we didn't start the season during our Champions League.
Oh,
Oh
mate,
my God.
I'm the same, to be fair, with the exception of the Real Madrid game. But aye,
You'll be maybe away next Saturday.
I'm still waiting to see if anyone can get cheap flights to Istanbul and back. Let me know, because
Why don't you just drive?
to Istanbul?
You can drive.
Get a ferry out of France, then go to
Aye, just
Turkey?
get a Eurotunnel, where?
Absolutely not, mate.
I know. You
I'll
love
do-
Turkey. Like
Mate.
Christmas.
Oh man. See,
Disclaimer: Jamie
Disclaimer,
has never been
he's
in
never
Turkey.
been to Turkey.
He's
I've
never
never
got a
It's a running joke. Jamie doesn't like it. He's never been to Turkey, and he never will go to Turkey. He's not going to Istanbul, and he doesn't like the Champions League final.
I do want to go to Istanbul for the Champions League final, but just to clarify, for the 15th time in this podcast, my hair is real and I've never had my teeth done.
Look at that. Look at that. And when you see season 2 of SFW,
Too.
like, share, and subscribe, guys.